everyone. Welcome back to episode 38 of MorWrestling's podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Morrison. I'm joined today by my co-host, Zakk Rolfe. What's going on today, Zakk?
Not too much, man. Busy bee, grinding. My boy joined the prison RTC today.
I saw that. Yeah, he's, running up those hills in the yard, you know what I'm saying? Like, that prison yard's no joke.
That's a fact. And the tree kept beating him up, so.
Hey, smacking his face off of it.
You would think he would just run around it, but he was just running through it. I don't know. He's 7. I was just hype. He came up to me. He said, Dad, can we go do our exercises today? And I was like, you want to go do your exercises today? Yeah, absolutely.
That tree's going to make him tougher in the long run. You just got to find a bigger.
Oh, yeah. And then this jerk freaking suckered me into doing a plank with him. Dude, I don't have a plank body. I don't do that anymore. I got a dad bod, all right? Dude made me do a whole 2-minute plank, and I was like, oh, man. Whew, that sort of catching up to me.
You got to join the prison RTC, man.
I'm probably gonna have to. Dude's gonna motivate me, make me want to work out now.
Yeah, it makes you tougher for sure. But yeah, no, it's been busy on my end as well. Last Wednesday we just finished our high school season. I mean, it was just a 5-week thing. Obviously, you can't really travel around the state. Things were just starting to open up, which was really nice. Our last week of wrestling, we were able to have 2 mats out on the football field, and we had fans for the first time. And actually, that day was the first day we were allowed to not wear masks. So we could have as many fans as we wanted. And then we could, obviously not wear our masks. So it was kind of really great.
Did the kids have to wear them while they wrestled?
No.
What?
Yeah.
That's sick. That's a good sign for next year, though. That means we're probably going to be full glow, 100%, no problems next year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it was awesome. Like the environment, just to be outside, the fan, like listening to the fans yell and all that stuff, and cheer for a freaking takedown. I mean, that's something the kids haven't heard in the last 4 weeks. So it was definitely a great cap to the season, and I'm glad actually we hosted it at Canton. Shout out Canton real quick. We were on Flow Radio Live last week.
Oh yeah, you were. I heard that.
Mitch Clark, yeah. Which that rumor of Mitch Clark being Stanford's assistant coach or whatever coach is definitely, I don't think, true. I mean,
I watched that one.
I told Piles after that too, because actually Piles, his in-laws or something like that, he said lives in Canton, so it's interesting, little small world. But
I think you mentioned that day too.
Yeah, I think he did. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's happened in the last, few weeks. We haven't been on since we've had Skyler on.
It's been like 2 weeks since we've had an episode. Like life has just smacked us both in the face the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, been rough.
So.
So over this past weekend, the Team New York sent a team out to the schoolboy duels out in Indiana, 14 and under. Down in Indiana, we went 7-3 in freestyle. Some notable guys that had decent records. At 83 pounds, Cooper Merrily went 9-1. At 102 pounds, Jacob McVie went 7-2. 106, Aiden Boutry, 8-2. 114 pounds, Waylon Winsman went 7-3. And 130, Griff LaPlante went 9-1. And then over in the Greco, Team New York finished 3-4. At 130 pounds, Griff LaPlante went 6-1. And at 187/250 pounds, Ray Serta went 6-1 as well.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to my guy, Joey Machantonio. He didn't have the best weekend ever, but he's just started wrestling freestyle Greco, and taking a trip all the way out to Indiana for your first big event like that's a big one. So I gotta give some props to him too.
Yeah, I mean, Team New York, they had 17 matches. I don't have the link up, so I can't see, but my buddy Chris Adams was the head coach out there for the event and for the schoolboy team. But he mentioned like it's obviously a huge thing for those kids to experience that, early on in their freestyle career, especially their middle school / high school career. It's definitely something that helps propel them forward. I know a few of our New York studs have done that in the last few years.
Yeah, I mean Tyler and Tyler Ferreira and Donovan Sutton were up there.
Yeah, true. So yeah, that definitely helps some of those guys taking the trip out to Indiana, the Midwest, and getting some wrestling in. Let's talk about the home team, Elmira. Go ahead and cover it.
So I got some text messages over the last couple of weeks. There were some rumors going around that the program was getting cut. The men's program was getting cut. We just want to make sure everybody knows that's not true. All right. They did have a little unfortunate changing of the guard. I say unfortunate, but it's unfortunate, fortunate for different parties. But the previous head coach, unfortunately, was let go. and they decided to move the women's head coach, who we actually had on the show not too long ago. Cody Griswold is taking over the men's program, as well as maintaining his duties as the women's program. He let me know that they're trying to find a couple of assistant coaches to help run the program. So it's moving. It's still moving forward. The program's not getting cut, guys. Stop. Don't be freaking out. It's all good. And that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited that there's wheels in motion for, obviously one coach leaves, but, it seems like Cody's got things kind of secured there, and I'm looking forward to the future there.
Yeah, and I liked Ian. I really did, and the whole situation for him kind of, I mean, he got the short end of the stick. I mean, they had the COVID year, and man, I feel for the guy. That's a little rough ending there, but
especially on my end. Ian obviously was named the Elmira coach, and I think like a week or two later, he was at a tournament we were at. He was actually during the high school season, obviously not this past year, but the year before, the last normal season we had, he was at like 5 of our tournaments recruiting one of our kids, obviously recruiting several others too, but he had one of our kids on board. We saw him at the Journeyman States. We saw him at Battle in the Berg. He was making his rounds everywhere in like Pennsylvania, anywhere we were, New York guys were wrestling or Pennsylvania guys were wrestling. He was there. So, yeah, no, I felt for him too, but I think the program's still in good hands.
Yeah, for sure. Cody's a great dude. He's very positive. He has a high upbeat personality. So I'm sure they're going to be just fine. And, being from Elmira and being from this area, I have a vested interest in seeing the program succeed. So I'm excited to see what Cody can do with the program going forward.
Yeah, me too. So let's move on to the Thousand Island duels. So that's another rumor that, things might not be a go. Thousand Island duels have been on for like 17 years or something like that. I remember going to them a long time ago. My dad and Coach Bear and a few other guys, they were coaching teams. The beginning of the Thousand Island duels era. Pat Connors put this tournament on a long time ago, and there's been hammers that have been coming to the Thousand Island region in Clayton, New York to wrestle and scrap. So it's been fun to see. The tournament is a go, August 6th, which is a Friday, through August 8th, which is a Sunday. Usually the first weekend in August is what it is, and it's going to be the same this year.
Yeah, I think the issue with that was people kept going to the website and it was like crashing or not working, or they would load up and they would get the notification that it's been canceled, but that was the notification for last year's tournament. So we want to make sure we let everybody know. Definitely a go. I'll be there. You'll be there. Everybody in New York who's somebody will probably be there. So make sure you come out, watch some solid quality wrestling. Assuming we can have fans. I know there's still some questions about capacity in the arena and whatnot. So hopefully, as you said, you just hosted a pretty big event with no mask. I know it was outside, but I'm hoping we'll have a pretty good COVID situation, good COVID protocols at that point in the year.
Yeah, especially Jefferson County. Hopefully everything's a go with their county. So, yeah.
All right. So next topic, I want to give a small update. I had a meeting with, I had a New York State Section 4, more specific, meeting for the Women's Task Force, trying to figure out how we can get women's wrestling in New York State sanctioned. I want to give people an update because I want to hear ideas from people, or I want if you want to help out or you want to volunteer or whatever you can to help grow women's wrestling. But what we're looking for, essentially, is any areas in New York State that have decent participation to kind of do a once or twice a week kind of hub, something where girls can just come and have just a girls practice, just to kind of help grow the situation. If you got 2 girls on their team that might have a couple friends who want to wrestle, but they don't want to wrestle against guys, they can then say, hey, on Mondays, we're only going, it's all girls. We're going to meet at this school at 6:00, and all girls it's only girls. So, try to get some, extra participation around females in women's wrestling. So please, if you're interested in hosting or helping or anything like that, you can reach out to me and I can point you in the direction of who you need to contact or talk to in order to help us grow women's wrestling in New York State.
Yeah, as we mentioned in previous shows, there's more and more wrestlers, and the girls are looking, they're looking tough, right? We're we're not just sending regular people out there. These wrestlers, these girls are putting their time in to be part of a sport, and I think it's right if we kind of sanction wrestling, or girls wrestling here in New York, because they definitely deserve it, and I think it's gonna lead to greater things for them and for just wrestling in general.
Yeah, and you know what? New York's a tough women's wrestling sport. We just had Jenna Burkett in the Olympic trials finals. We got some studs in the area. Alexis Porter's, she was up there for a long time in the senior level, and going through the junior and U23 circuit. So, I mean, just get involved, help us grow the sport, help us grow women's wrestling. Because here's the thing: women's wrestling grows, men's wrestling grows too. It's not one or the other. They're gonna help propel each other. So we gotta bring more women into the sport of wrestling, so we can avoid situations like Stanford and Fresno. And I heard a rumor that Clemson might be bringing on a women's wrestling program. All right, big rumor, nothing official. Okay, but I've heard it's definitely a possibility, and almost kind of likely. Somebody was offering to fund it, and it's going to help them because they're in a Title IX situation right now. It might help them get out of that issue. So it's a possibility. All right, like I said, big rumor, nothing official. Probably not even officially discussed yet, but it's out there. So
yeah, and it's nice to see, because like Elmira, we're talking about Cody Griswold, and then my boy John Clark. Well, he's not the coach of the girls team out there now, but Sacred Heart and Elmira having these wrestling programs, kind of, well, one's in New York, one's right next to New York. Seeing them have a women's team, and I think it's going to help grow the interest of young girls in the sport of wrestling. So pumped. But yeah, let's give a shout out to Army real quick. They brought on Jesse Del Vecchia. So Jesse Del Vecchio was the Riders Only National finalist. They brought him on the staff. He chose not to use his last year was his last year. He decided not to come back.
He almost went to Penn State.
Oh, really?
He was recruited pretty hard by Cal and decided he didn't want to use that last year. But
I mean, I can see why, but
he was recruited by Penn State.
The smaller programs, I think, is where he's going to thrive at. But it's nice to see that he's going to Army. He's definitely probably going to have his hands on PJ Winsanya and Marcus Hartman. So excited to see where they end up this year with his being in the room.
Yeah, so let's move in. Next topic here. We're moving kind of fast, but there's not a lot going on. Just kind of give you guys a little update on stuff that has been happening. We've been putting out some class of 22 and class 23 recruiting stuff. You've done a really nice job of getting those profiles put out. They've been killing it. I mean, they've been doing a nice job pushing more wrestling all together. But let's talk a little bit about these schools lists. I know you did some work, did a little digging, reached out to some of these guys to get some school lists. What'd you find here?
So yeah, it was pretty neat. Willie Saylor sent me a DM, and was like, "Hey, can you help me get school lists for?" I think it was Soriano, Bear, and Rocco Camillucci. And I said, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." And then give me half a day. And then he's like, I gave him to him, and then he's like, "Give me a school list for Jaden Scott," which it's pretty easy to tell because he tweets a lot.
Posting them all out, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. So and number 31 on the big board, Matt Scout's Willie Saylor's big board. Jaden Scott, Brush Henrietta. A few of the teams he listed, I don't know if these are teams that, he has been in contact to, or just teams that have reached out to him, or both. But we've got Buffalo, Campbell, Edinburgh, Lehigh, Navy, West Virginia, and Wyoming. So Campbell, they made an official visit to his house.
That took a little, we kind of figured that out on accident, didn't we?
No, he posted that, I believe.
Well, yeah, but we figured it out before he posted it, because they said they were in New York. And...
Oh, yeah. So they said they were in New York. Yeah. So the assistant coach at Campbell said, "Yeah, I'm in New York looking at a guy," and we kind of obviously had our eyes peeled, because looking at the four guys right here, I mean, I know one of them pretty darn well, and then
right.
And I knew they weren't at Rocco's, so I was like, yeah, I might have just sent him back a screenshot of our list, and I said Jaden Scott's ? And he says, bingo. So the next day there was a picture posted with him and the coach. Later that week, Lehigh's like whole coaching staff traveled up to Rochester and stopped at Jaden Scott's house, or it looked like a restaurant, to be honest with you, in the picture, but they made a visit. And then I think last week, Jaden Scott was down in West Virginia on an official visit. So he's definitely making his rounds and talking to a lot of coaches.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, you're good.
Well, just kind of moving into Jordan Soriano, another guy you had reached out to. He did what he's supposed to do. He only gave us 5 schools.
Yeah.
App State, Army, Columbia, NC State, and Rutgers. Now, I'm the guy who would love to see Jordan Soriano in the Big Ten. So please, Jordan, go to Rutgers. But that also being said, do what's best for yourself. But I think his hand fight and the way he wrestles would be awesome to see wrestling underneath Anthony Ashnall and Coach Goodale.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. Actually, I posted Jordan Soriano's recruiting profile. He might have been one of the last ones that I posted in that group. And I'm not going to say what college or what coach it was, but I got a college coach that sent me a DM, said, hey, what's this kid's contact information? So I obviously gave it to him. And I don't know if, that's going to add on to his list as well. I don't know, where they've gone since then. But I got the list, I think, right before I sent the contact information to him. So I'm excited. Those profiles are reaching at Division I head coaches.
Yeah, and dude, that was such a good idea by you. Yeah. You're killing it with that, man. Seriously.
I love it. Yeah. It's talking about the next guy. So at 143 on the big board, Carter Bear of Governor, he is looking at or has been talked to by Binghamton, Buffalo, Bucknell, Citadel, George Mason, NC State, and Rutgers. And actually, Governor had a guy play in the NFL. He played for Rutgers, actually. He was on Rutgers' football team back when they were like 10th in the country, early 2000s or early to mid 2000s. He still lives in the Rutgers area, but his dad got a hold of it. And, the coaching staff, he's not even on staff down there, the former Governor football player, but he knows the wrestling staff there. So he sends I think Donnie Pritzlaff or whoever it was, maybe it was Goodale, a thing saying, hey, here's the New York State champ at Governor, where I went to school. He reached out to Bear, and I don't know how much contact's been made since, but I just thought that was another cool thing. The profile kind of reached to them as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know Bear is he had a visit from Binghamton, but I don't know about the other schools, if he's had contacts from them as well or not. But.
Go ahead with Rocco.
Yeah, so at 151, Rocco Camilacci of Hilton High School, he kind of reached out to me, or I reached out to him, and he gave me 3 schools. And I think these 3 schools were all schools that he planned on taking official visits to in the near future. I honestly think one of them he already made an official visit to, but the 3 are Princeton, Virginia Tech, and West Virginia. So another New York guy who has West Virginia on his list. It's kind of interesting to see.
Well, hey, so they actually, Tim Flynn's always done a really nice job recruiting New York State, and his teammate, Burgos goes to Edinburgh, where Tim Flynn used to be. I don't know if there's any correlation to that there, but
is going to West Virginia, right?
Who?
Schaefer. I thought
is he? One of those guys he might be.
Because they've got Titus down there as well. I thought there was 2 other guys in the class of 2021 going to West Virginia, and then Titus being one of them.
Yeah, I don't remember for sure off the top of my head, but it definitely makes sense. They've always done a nice job. Tim Flynn's always done a nice job recruiting New York State. He did coach Gregor Gillespie, and Gregor's still in New York right now, so it would make sense that he does that well.
Yeah, recruits another Section 5 guy. Cool thing about West Virginia, they've got Mitchell Port on their staff, and Mitchell Port followed us on Twitter, so shout out West Virginia.
I would like to see West Virginia do well. I like Tim Flynn. He's always had a really tough program, and he's clearly doing a nice job recruiting at West Virginia. So, props to him. Hope he does well. And I would like to see more New York guys go down there, more of our best guys. Obviously, we've seen Jaden Scott looking at him and Rocco looking at him. Maybe a couple of these guys might get on the radar as the season goes on. But moving into our next guy. Now, we've obviously had this guy on the show, Carter Schubert. He found his way into the national rankings this past week or so. He's number 24 at 145 now. He's been doing a nice job. He's kind of been posting and letting people know what's going on with his recruiting and stuff like that. He has not taken any official visits, but he has been doing some unofficial visits with Missouri. He was down there last week. Coach Borshoff from Binghamton came up and saw him at his house recently. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this other one because he sent me that privately and he hasn't posted publicly yet, so I'm gonna leave that one out. But he is somewhere right now on an unofficial camp, unofficial visit kind of thing. So he's been doing a nice job. He's getting around. He's looking like he's gonna probably get a good situation when it's all said and done. I'm excited to see what his final school list will be once he starts taking his officials.
Yeah, so talking about unofficial visits, I guess I can say that as well. I mean, I guess it's probably not a secret too much, but Carter Bear is going down to Binghamton tomorrow for an unofficial visit. Obviously, some of these guys aren't going to take official visits until the guys are back on campus. Some of these guys have been let go for the wrestlers that are on college campuses have let go for, a month or so. Some of them are coming back beginning of July, mid-July, depending on when their school years ended. But,
yeah, that's typically when I hear too. Is like usually beginning of July or maybe mid-July. Yeah. Usually mid-July is a little late, but I've seen a lot. Actually, Titus said he's going to West Virginia on June 28th.
Oh, really?
He said that in an interview with Flo, that's when he's going to be heading out there. So
I mean, they've got freshmen, maybe orientation and all that other stuff. Maybe
that's true. Yeah,
as far as getting acclimated to the college.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's something that some of these guys aren't going to take their unofficials yet, or the officials yet. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what they find out on their unofficials.
So moving down today's a big day in the lives of the class of 2023. The guys currently finishing up their sophomore year. Today is the first time anybody is able to contact them. Any coaches, college NCAA coaches are allowed to talk to them. We got 3 guys from New York on the big board right now. I'm sure that'll move up as we get going. But the number 1 guy in the class 2023, according to MorWrestling and Willie Saylor Mascots, Tyler Ferrer, Schnegel Forks. He's had a busy day today. I'm not going to get into it too much, but he's definitely gotten some phone calls and some text messages today. I don't know much about Max or Ethan, but it's a good sign, right? I mean, we're seeing these New York guys get interest day one. As soon as it's available, here they go. I love seeing it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention the other Division I coach, but he also sent me a message on Twitter and said, hey, can you get contact information for some of these guys? So it's nice to see, them have interest, I guess, again, from our page. They're following these guys, but have interest in these guys, these New York guys, and try to keep them in state. So I'm looking forward
to it. And guys, listen, as we've been talking about this whole episode, we got coaches listening. There's people listening to your names, people listening to your recruiting profiles. They're also going to listen to your interviews, okay? Feel free to reach out. We'd love to have you guys on, talk about what you're thinking about, talk about your future plans, maybe what you're going to major in. Let these coaches know who you are and let them know that you're interested, all right? It's only going to help you if you get on here, unless you come on and decide to talk about something you did poor decisions, but that's probably not a good idea, so.
Yeah, true. Yeah, just in the last 28 days, I mean, granted, we don't have a huge following yet on Facebook or just social media in general, but 7,000 people were reached in the last 28 days on our Facebook page. Like, just now, Tyler Ferrer's recruiting profiles is off to a big start. A few Division I coaches have already liked it and are looking at it, so I'm pumped. It's definitely going to take people places, and don't be afraid to reach out and shoot us a message or whatever you want to do to get your name out there and then get your profile out there as well.
We want to help you. That's all we want. We want to help you guys get to the best place possible and get you guys in the best situation. And bringing you on here will definitely help you do that.
Yeah, so like I said, Tyler's recruiting profile is out there on MorWrestling's Facebook and Twitter. Feel free to go out and give it a like, give it a share, get his name out there. Then I will be posting Max Gallagher's probably sometime tomorrow. Give these guys a day to themselves for a recruiting profile, and then add another one. And I'll try to work my way down MorWrestling's top 10 rankings, which we'll get into in a second.
Yeah, so the 3 guys, I don't think we've mentioned Ethan yet, but Ethan Gallo, Menacing Valley, was the 3rd guy on Mascout's Class 23 big board. So Tyler Ferrer came in at number 58. Max Gallagher came in at number 77. Ethan Gallo came in at number 132. I had a little bit of a bone to pick with Tyler's ranking. I mean, I'm just happy he's on there, but he does have wins over the number 30 and number 41 guy on the big board. So
Laridison?
No, Laridison I believe is 22, isn't he?
No, I thought I saw him on there, but yeah, no, he has wins besides that over some of these top guys.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought he could be a little higher, but I'm not going to complain or be super picky considering that. I mean, he's going through the entire country trying to rank 150 guys from the same class. That cannot be an easy task. So, shout out to Mass Scouts for doing all that work. Did you get those rankings up or no?
Yeah, I got them. So the MorWrestling's top 10 in the class of 2023 rankings are at number 10, we've got Brady Unger of Fairport. At number 9, we've got Donovan Smith of Tioga. Number 8, Justin Soriano of Clark. Number 7, Sean Campbell of Copiag. Number 6, Frankie Volpe of Hauppauge. 5, Ethan Gallo of Mincing Valley. Number 4, we got Nick Noto of Honey Falls, Lima. Number 3, we got Sam Sorensen of Homer. 2, Max Gallagher of Bayport, Blue Point. And then number 1, Tyler Ferreira of Shenango Forks.
Yeah, so as you can see, we kind of have a little bit differing opinions from Mass Scouts there.
From New York Wrestling News.
And from New York Wrestling News, but we all know we love Smitty, but I think it's pretty well known he does his on a formula. And there's nothing wrong with that. I wanted to kind of put a little bit different, a little more opinions in there. Obviously, everybody's got an opinion, but I think based on results and just overall recruit, I know Tyler better than these other guys, and so I know his personality. I know he's going to be a hard worker and a good recruit. I do know Max Gallagher is also a really tough kid, really good recruit. Good, he works his butt off. I felt Tyler winning a state title, 2-time state finalist, was definitely, enough to push him over top. He's also obviously ranked higher than Max at 120 pounds in the country right now. So obviously there's still room for these guys to flip-flop throughout the next couple of years. I also felt Sam Sorensen has done a lot. Right? I mean, he won 2 different state titles in 1 year, and he's only a sophomore at 220. Right? Winning a state title as a sophomore at 220 is not easy.
Yeah, and winning 2 of them is not easier.
In the same year.
Shout out Wyoming.
Right. So I felt he did deserve to still maintain a top 3 ranking, and that's why I kind of left him there at number 3. Moving down, Nick Noto. Man, his run at States was hard to overlook. I mean, he wrestled all the way back after losing an early round match and finishing in 3rd place. I mean, you can't. I personally couldn't overlook that. I thought he deserved to move into the number 4 spot.
Yeah, no, he had a great New York State tournament, and it's just kind of more recency bias, I guess. Some of, I guess, for the formula, New York Wrestling News formula, is maybe not necessarily what they've done, I guess, or who they've wrestled in the last several months during COVID. So that's why we.
Well, actually, he did. He had freestyle states and Greco states and stuff in there, as part of the formula. I just felt. I mean, he also won freestyle states. He beat Conor Gregory in the finals. So, I mean, I feel like it's justified. And then obviously we already talked about Ethan Gallo. He comes in at number 5. And then rounding out top 10, which you guys already mentioned, so I'm not going to go over that again. But yeah, I think this is, as of right now, I think this is the top 10 in the class. We're going to work on doing some pound for pound over the whole state. I'm thinking maybe expanding it to top 20. I'm not going to include current seniors this year. I'm definitely just going to do, the starting with the class of 22 as our seniors. So, and it'll update after Fargo, but I'm going to try to get a set out here, hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously we've got the top 10 in the class 2022. We've got the top 10 of the class 2023. 3, but then we've got guys like Zach Ryder, PJ Duke, and so on.
Yep.
So those guys are obviously going to make an impact, and it's going to be fun to talk about them. And they're still a year out or 2 years out from actually being recruited. But
who's higher right now, Ryder or Duke? Gotta be Ryder, right? It's gotta be Ryder, right? Now that I'm thinking about it, he's got 2 state titles, right? Yeah.
Right. I mean, in our rankings, I would put Ryder ahead of Duke. Yeah. Just because, yeah. I mean, PJ's also injured, so.
Right. I mean, he probably he would have won. I mean, it would have been if we had an ideal state tournament, right? I have that article that I haven't put out. I kind of want to just put it out in like a regular Facebook post, but I did write an article about the top 10 guys that didn't wrestle at the Journeyman State Tournament, and obviously PJ Duke was right up there at the top of that list, and the other guy that wasn't there was Jay Schaefer, who we saw go on a crazy run at Northeast Regionals, and who else? He had another really good performance somewhere else. What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna kill me. I don't remember. He had a really good performance recently that had me like, man, I would have loved to see a match between him and PJ Duke. I think he's looked great as of late, and I think that would have been a great match. But that probably would have been your state final at 120 pounds had they both been there. So.
Yeah. But yeah, like I do the profiles, you do the rankings. So shout out for you on the rankings. I mean, you did the class 2022 top 10, class 2023 top 10. I did not have any factor in them. So thank you, Kenny Cords, for saying, Morrison's favorites when you had Cole Walzer and Carter Bear 1-2 for the class 2022.
Hey, I don't know how you could argue against that, right? I mean, maybe you have bias. Maybe I have bias. And there could be argument here for Max ahead of Tyler. I can see an argument, right? I weighed Tyler's state title a little heavier. But in the class of 22, how can you argue somebody had a Carter and Cole?
I don't know. But obviously, Kenny Courts did not take it as a compliment. He just said, way to go for favorites. I mean, I would have ran with it, dude.
Dude, it's your 2 of your kids. Just be happy.
I thought that was funny. But, yeah, I guess moving on, I really wanted to talk about Justin Signorelli in Alfred State.
Oh, man, dude.
Having posts out left and right about their recruits coming in.
I'm going to pull it up. Hold on one second. You go ahead, keep talking. I'm going to pull it up.
No, I was just on their Instagram. So their Instagram, they bring up a great profile for each kid, right? Telling their potential weight that they plan on wrestling, what their major plans to be, and where they are wrestling, out of the high school, what high school they attended. Looking at it, they got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 20.
Oh my goodness. What?
23 recruits. I mean, I'm assuming they're all out of the class of 2021.
Oh my goodness.
That's unreal. What he's doing and building the Ox Gang down there in Alfred State. If you haven't listened to that episode talking about what he plans to do and, what he's actually doing right now at Alfred State, give it a listen. I'm not really positive what episode it was, but it was early on in our, I think the first 10 episodes. Yeah, it's
Justin, I'm gonna have to hit you up, buddy.
It's awesome to see that.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Man, do you have anything else, man? I mean.
No, I mean that about covers it. There's a few Fargo camps coming up.
Yep.
I think you just said that there was one this past weekend.
Yeah, there's one out in Rochester on Saturday and Sunday this week.
A few more are coming up around the state. So obviously some of our guys are getting ready for the big show out there in Fargo, North Dakota.
If you are in the area of Ithaca and you are on the Fargo team, the Fargo, New York team, and that means you are on the team, not that you want to be on the team, but if you are on the team, you can go to the Ultimate Athletics practices in Ithaca on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously get ready for Fargo because it's coming and it's going to be a good time. People's stock's going to rise, people's stock's going to fall maybe a little bit, but we got 4 more weeks until the New York team makes their way out to Fargo, North Dakota and competes for a stop sign.
Dude, who's winning a stop sign?
I don't know. I really want to put a list together of the New York guys that are going, right? I mean, we kind of have an idea of who wrestled at the freestyle states and whatnot, but
I bet I can get that list soon.
Yeah, there's more, to it than just that. So yeah, I really want to put a list together and talk about the team that we're sending out west.
I'll reach out and see if I can get a list here soon.
All right, then. That about covers it for episode 38. Thanks again for listening. Peace out.
Peace out. Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you liked the video. Hit the like button, comment down below, hit subscribe. Come back for more next time on More Wrestling.